Hey, boys and girls, happy Thursday. Today's the last day that we're going to be doing theme. We're talking about theme in poetry. We talked about mood this week, and that's how a poem makes you feel. And we started to talk about theme or the lessons that we learn in poems. And mood also often contributes to the theme, as we kind of discussed yesterday. The way we feel about a poem helps us with the lesson. So I'm going to read through this, and we're going to quickly go over a little quick poem and decide the theme. And then I'm going to read a poem to you guys. I am not going to be interpreting this poem with you. You're going to be analyzing it and interpreting it and deciding the theme on your own. The theme is the message or lesson that an author wants the reader to learn. Oftentimes, the reader needs to infer the theme. You can infer the theme by using the details in the poem. To determine the theme of the poem, read the poem and visualize. 2. Ask yourself, what is happening in this poem? Summarize the poem in your own words. So when we read the poem, we've already gone over that when you read something closely, you read it 4 or 5 times sometimes. The first time is to kind of understand the big idea of the poem. So that's what we're going to do. And then when you go over it the second and the third time, you're looking more at the figurative language and the imagery and thinking about the poem figurative language devices that it creates a mood or how it makes you feel, and then you can decide the message. How does the author use words and phrases to create a mood or feeling? 4, how are the other elements of poetry, such as rhythm and rhyme, used to create a mood or feeling? 5, ask yourself, what lesson or message did the author want to teach me? Think of the larger life lessons like honesty, integrity, strength, and kindness. So we talked about the coat. The grandmother had only one good coat and she gave it to the homeless person. So, and that the writer of the poem identified, like, what if my grandmother was homeless? And then the grandmother said, you know what, give her my one good coat, that beautiful coat, the only one that the grandmother had. It's about giving to less fortunate and being kind, right? We learned from the poem A Message from Mother to Son about the mother having a really hard life, but saying, you know what, life's going to be hard. You keep going. You're not going to be given everything. Everything's not going to come easy to you. Your life, right? The metaphor was a crystal staircase. You're not going to have a crystal staircase. That staircase, or however you get there, is going to be hard, but keep going. Okay. So those are life lessons. Hope is the thing with feathers. This is by Emily Dickinson. So this poem, is another one by Emily Dickinson, and it's short. It says, hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. So we know the main idea of this poem is hope, and it's using the metaphor of a bird and how a bird travels to be imagery for hope. So if you have feathers or you're a bird, you can fly in the air and you can keep going. And if you think of the idea of how it feels to fly, it's like a wonderful euphoric feeling, right? So hope is the thing with feathers. Okay. That perches in the soul. So hope is within you. It stays within your soul. It sits there within your soul and sings the tune without words. A tune or a song is something that makes most people feel really emotionally connected. So hope will emotionally connect with you to keep going and never stops at all. So the main idea of the poem is hope. The mood is kind of having, well, it's obviously having hope, but it's an upbeat feeling, right? So it makes you want to feel that hope and look beyond it. And what is the theme? The theme is that hope is going to give you a really good feeling in life. Hope is going to keep you positive. It's going to kind of keep you going. It's going to be that motivation for you to keep going. So I'm going to read this poem alone, and it's going to be your job to go and answer it on the Google Slides. So this is a 2-page poem. So we'll read it, the first time together, and then you can read it on your own. All alone I sit in the chair. Look up I do not dare, for fear that they are there to stare. They do not understand, you see, that there truly is more to me than just how different I appear to be. The teasing and names have always been there, most of them too vulgar to share, but I think about them while sitting in this chair. One of the girls is coming over. I wish I could duck and take cover. I feel like I'm going to be run over by a bulldozer. Much to my dismay, I cannot get away, but I am shocked when the prettiest girl just says, "Hey." "Hi," I say hesitantly, waiting for them to be mean to me, wishing they would just leave me be. Instead, the girl stands there with her pack and says to me, "We're headed to go back and get a snack just down the street at the food shack. Do you want to come over that way? It really is a beautiful day, and we would love to hear about the town where you used to stay." I rose from my chair with a grin across the face. Finally, I was being treated with this taste. I think I really could get used to. Oh, finally, I wasn't being treated with this taste. Sorry, guys. I think I really could get used to this place. Most times when I meet new people, you see, they do not see me for me. Instead, they see someone who's considered large or fat. No one ever has the courage to say, "Why are you like that?" If they did, I would tell them the truth. They would not have to be a sleuth. I am overweight because of a disease. I cannot help it if it has to do with kidneys. But today's the day I do not think about all of that because I have found friends who don't think of me as fat. Instead of name calling and rudeness galore, they say to me, "Great to meet you, Eleanor." All right, boys and girls. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to go through this. And if you notice here, it says red. You're going to highlight in the Google Slides, the red. So you're going to just highlight it using the highlight tool. Read the lines from this poem. Look up, I do not dare, for fear they may stare. What do these words show you about the speaker? So you're going to put the letter in this red box and you're going to highlight the details in the text. And the same for the orange, yellow, and green. And here, this is an open answer. And then here, you're going to write about the theme of the poem. It should say, in the poem alone, the theme is, and the author is not stated. So if you want to say the author's message, you're going to say the author's message is, and it says include at least 2 details from the chart below. I expect this to be at least 5 sentences long, including a closing sentence. All right, boys and girls, get to work. See you later.